If you're looking for a new main in Valorant, then definitely try to play Sova. He's a really great agent, probably one of the best in the game, if not the best. His util is actually pretty easy to use when used correctly, at least. And this is a guide on how to use Sova for beginners, not an in-depth guide. As you can see, I have lots of hours on Sova. I am pretty low elo, but I can definitely teach you guys what I know about Sova and how to play him as well as I know how to. Before we get started, I'm going to be doing some basic Sova things, mechanics for new Sova players. So one,
revealing area.
Click dart, or like you just tap your mouse and then that.
Revealing area. Scanning ahead.
One bar, which just goes a little bit further. Then you have the two
Scanning
bar,
ahead.
which goes further. And then you have the 3 bar. The 3 bar, unless you're like far away, like if I'm at this window,
Revealing area.
it's basically gonna aim. But if I just aim like slightly above it,
Revealing area.
it's basically gonna land. So full charge almost always lands where you're aiming. And then obviously you have bounces.
Scanning ahead.
One bounce. And you can do other
Scanning ahead.
combinations. There's no limits or anything like that.
Revealing area.
But obviously another thing, obviously the faster you charge
Revealing
it,
area.
the faster it's gonna go. But just make sure you know that the power doesn't change unless you
Scanning
do
ahead.
another bar. So like if I go like
Revealing
that,
area.
that's still a tap.
Scanning ahead.
It's gonna do the same thing.
Revealing area.
You just no, that doesn't change anything, which I see a lot of new solo players do. Now I'm going to be talking about his Recon dart. So his Recon dart is his best ability by far, and in my opinion, it's probably the best ability in all of Valorant. It can literally turn
Scanning ahead.
the game around, or like you can literally help your team so much. So one, you only get 1 to 2 per round because
Scanning
it's a
ahead.
40-second cooldown. So the main thing I'm going to be talking about is don't waste it. Keep in mind this thing is 1 HP. Like if you shoot
Revealing
it
area.
and then you right click it from here, it's gonna die. So another thing is you don't just want to like throw it up the floor. Maybe in a
Revealing
1v1,
area.
that's one thing, but if you're rushing onto a site, for example, if you're in B main and this is smoked off, don't just click
Scanning
it
ahead.
because that's not going to do anything. Instead, try to just know the map a little bit and
Scanning ahead.
there, or even do
Revealing
a bar
area.
there, or try to use the darts to the best.
Revealing area.
Now, I'm not saying you need to learn 30 lineups for every site and map, but just, you know, kind of have common knowledge and just spend some time practicing an undefeated Spiker custom, just about how far it can go, basic trajectory, stuff like that, so then you don't waste your util. Now let's talk about his shock darts. His shock darts, a couple basic things about them. It's the same thing.
Shock dart.
Tap fire,
Shock dart.
2 bar, bounces, 3 bar, you guys know the drill. But it has the same exact mechanics as his Recon dart. So, on impact, I can't do it because it's just me. But if I'm standing in the middle of this, like right around here, or around here, it's gonna do 80 damage. So, if you know someone's weak, like let's say this. Someone's in market, and your team comes that they're like, they're saying he's at 100. What you can do, just get a 2 bar, 2 bounce ready, and then do something like this, it will probably kill them. And if not, it'll at least buy you time to go, because when they hear that shock dart, they're not going to be peeking. They're going to be trying to run away, or they're going to be focused on that for that 2 to 3 second period. Another thing, try to just learn basic, like, velocity and
Shock dart.
trajectory of where it's going to land. So, like, I know if I just
Shock
do
dart.
this, like, that's going to land around stairs. And there's lots of basic ways you can do this. Like, if you stand anywhere around stairs and just aim around there, and then do a 1 bounce, 1 charge, sorry for that glitch. Like, that's gonna land there, and just
Shock dart.
that 80 damage or so can be really crucial for chip damage. Especially in pistol rounds, shock darts are really overlooked, and in my opinion, they're a really underrated ability. Another thing, don't rely on lineups every single time you use shock darts. Like, yeah, going for a cool lineup like this and getting like
Shock
a
dart.
with it, like, that's always cool, but it's kind of unrealistic. Because, like, that lineup takes longer to travel, and if you just use your shock darts regularly, like, if you know someone's camping logs, that's 80 damage.
Shot down.
That's another 80 damage, and they're dead. And then that one pick sets the round off really nicely for your team. Even if they're not there, or even if you don't kill them with a shock dart, that 80 damage, or 30, or 40, or 50, whatever damage you get, that's still huge pick damage, and that can really help your team later in the round. One more thing. Let's say you have a killjoy on the enemy team that keeps putting their setups right here. I don't see enough people doing this. The easiest way to counter it, stand anywhere around here on the crate, whatever, a 1 bounce, 2, 3, 1, whatever, and just get it. If you do that, you can get on the site, because the killjoy goes right here, and you can do this with Cypher and most util in the game. That literally destroys your setup. So if you're constantly getting bullied by a Cypher, or killjoy, or a setup like that, maybe even chamber, then just use your utility like that to help your team out for the win. Now he has other 2 abilities, his drone and his ult. I won't be talking about those much, but I'll do a quick overview. Quick 2 tips with his drone, 2 or 3 tips. 1, this is common sense, don't drone in the open. Always, even if like there's a smoke right here, don't drone here, because that smoke could go away or something, especially if it's a Viper, they can take it down. Just drone
Take flight.
and then you're fine. Another thing, if you tag an enemy, you don't have to cancel the drone right away. You can still keep it up and try to ping for your team.
Deploying drone
for your team
right here.
where they are. So then you know. And even if you can't, talk in team chat a little bit. That can really help your team, because not everyone is going to be looking at the mini-map for the radar of where the enemies are. It could be in a battle or whatever. So always, so like let's say you're in this angle, and you see a guy here, and then you see another guy blind. Don't just like, go here and then do that, because you won't be able to tag him.
Right here.
Just ping him and then say something in team chat, so, because that's what Sova is. The goal with Sova, aside from Shocker and Ultimate, get as much intel for your team as possible and make the biggest impact that you can. Last thing with his ult, this is a very simple explanation, but
Scanning ahead.
don't use his ult, maybe if it's last round or if you're playing for post plant. There's very minimal situations where you just want to ult something.
I am the hunter!
So keep in mind, Sova's ult is extremely overpowered when used correctly, and when you use it correctly, the enemy really can't dodge it unless they're playing Raze or Jet, or maybe Omen that can TP or Yoru. But there's very few characters that can dodge Sova that well. So like, let's say I do a
Revealing
dart
area.
and that clears A main. This is a really good dart to play off the ult, because that's gonna ping them, and then I can just aim my ultimate at that. So just do that. And another thing I don't see a lot of players doing, let's say you ult from CT,
I am the hunter!
and then all of a sudden you hear footsteps, and you like some other guy on site. You can click X to cancel that ult again, just so you don't get killed with the ult, because that's a really embarrassing way to die, when you simply could have just clicked X to cancel it. Another thing,
I am the
although you
hunter!
probably know this, on the mini-map up there, there's a blue line that shows you. So if your map awareness maybe isn't the best, or you're confused on where you're aiming,
I
just
am
look
the
there,
hunter!
and that literally shows you where you're aiming. Sova's ultimate pairs really well with
Take
his
flight.
drone, because you can tag him. Actually, with his drone, he's really overpowered, because let's say there's an enemy here. Tag them, and then that tag pings them 3 times. And when you hit them with the ultimate, it also pings them. So use all that info to your advantage to get free kills. And it also does the same damage as a shock dart, so 2 ultimate hits and they're dead. Unless they're obviously lower HP. I hope you guys enjoyed that Sova guide. If you guys want me to, I can go in more depth about how to play Sova and maybe another agent. If you guys want me to, let me know in the comments below. I'm sorry about the audio in this video. I know it was a little messed up. I know the game audio was a little bit imbalanced and unbalanced with the microphone. I'll fix that next time. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.